Batman has fought the Joker on many occasions, and he's also managed to get one over on him from time to time, such as when he stopped Bane's heart in Arkham Origins to make the Joker think that Batman had killed Bane, but then he restarted his heart and saved him, which annoyed the Joker immensely.
Finish off the kill and back for more, eh?
Bane's still alive.
Now that's not funny.
But the Joker usually gets over this and sees the funny side. But there have been times when Batman has not just got one over on him, he has completely humiliated the Joker. And Joker has been extremely angry about it. And sometimes this happens in public, sometimes it happens in private. But this video is going to focus on the times when the Joker has been most hurt by this humiliation. Make 'em laugh. In this classic story, there is a comedy competition, and the Joker felt that he should have been given the trophy and the title of being the funniest person in Gotham, despite the fact that he didn't actually enter the competition. At least not officially. He just turned up in disguise and wanted it. And so the judges naturally said no, because that's not how competitions work.
You can't do this to me! I'm the greatest comic in Gotham! I'll get even. I'll ruin you all!
But because of this slight against the Joker, he decides to ruin the judges' lives and take the trophy at the next annual contest. So just before the next contest happens, he gets the Mad Hatter's mind control technology and turns all of the judges into rather lame and pathetic supervillains. The first is the Condiment King, who for some reason was really liked by writers and possibly by some fans, though not myself, and as such he went on to feature in a lot of Batman productions, even Lego games and films.
And the Condiment King!
And his whole gimmick is that he has canisters filled with ketchup and mustard that he sprays at people. So needless to say, he is easily defeated by Batman.
Let's see if you can cut the mustard. Quiet. You hit me.
The next one of the judges is turned into the Pack Rat, who wants to steal things that others deem worthless. For example, he takes a diamond necklace box and then throws away the diamond necklace. And although that bit is rather stupid, he does at least have the common sense to bring along a decent weapon, which is why he has a machine gun. And this does cause Batman and Robin some trouble, though obviously they still defeat them. And the third judge is an obnoxious and overweight woman who just grabs a mop and calls herself the Mighty Mop, though she is easily dealt with by Robin on his own. Didn't even warrant Batman's attention. Now, as for the Joker, he and Batman square off on top of a blimp, and their fight culminates with the Joker falling to his death. But of course, Batman uses his grappling gun to save him, but he saves him by grabbing him by the trousers and pulling them down. And then the Joker is lowered in front of a huge crowd of people, all of whom are laughing at the sight of him because he has his pants down. This is one of the classic times that Batman has humiliated the Joker, and the Joker is furious about it. Which does make sense. I mean, this was a celebrity event, so there was a lot of paparazzi people there, and they definitely got their money shot of Joker's humiliation. So he was never going to forget this. Mad Love. Now, this is the episode of Batman's animated series in which we see Harley Quinn's origin.
I must admit, I was surprised you wanted to intern here at Arkham.
Well, I've always had an attraction for extreme personalities. They're more exciting, more challenging.
It's actually a very good episode, and I've talked about it a few times before. So a lot of you probably know that it's also the time when Harley abducts Batman and is about to kill him when Batman convinces her to call the Joker instead. This is because Batman knows that Joker's ego won't allow for Harley to kill Batman. Only he is allowed to end the Dark Knight's life. And after the Joker nearly kills Harley and then sets Batman free, he then decides to turn around and kill Batman because the Joker's kind of a two-faced dick. So Batman decides to embarrass him by telling him that this was not only one of the times that he came closest to dying, but that Harley actually came closer to killing him than the Joker ever had, which really riles him up, because it's true. And the truth always hurts the most, and humiliates us the most, which is part of the reason why I love this. This version of the Joker is a vain egomaniac, much like others to be fair, but he's also an angry idiot who thinks he's a genius when really he's just a brat throwing a tantrum. I mean, yeah, some of the other Jokers are like that too, but this one is really annoying, so it's kind of nice to see him get put down a peg or two. Well, actually a lot of pegs, since he gets so angry that he ends up fighting Batman on a train, even though that is a really stupid idea, and thus he ends up falling to his death. But that's kind of glossed over. After all, Joker died several times in this show, but he always returned in a later episode. But having his girlfriend be a better supervillain than he is really did embarrass him. And perhaps the most humiliating part of this of all is that Harley managed to make Batman laugh.
I've never seen you laugh before. I don't think I like it. Cut it out! You're giving me the creeps!
Something which this version of Joker has always wanted to do, and yet has never been able to do. And knowing that his girlfriend beat him at this, well, it must have really stung. Batman Beyond. This is actually my personal favourite. I know it's not Bruce Wayne in the costume, instead it's his protege Terry McGinnis, but it's still Batman who's humiliating the Joker here. Now in this movie, we learn that the Joker tortured the Tim Drake version of Robin in a truly despicable way, and broke his mind so much that Tim turned around and ended the Joker's life.
That's not funny. That's not...
Now, years later, the Joker returns, having used a microchip to rewrite Robin's DNA so he could return and wreak havoc once more. I mean, the details now he came back from the dead aren't important, just that he did. And he goes through all of this hassle over the course of 5 decades just to come up against the new Batman, who is more than a match for him. And the true beauty of this one is that the Joker thinks he is so far above McGinnis, he thinks that he is the classic Joker who fought the one and true Batman, and that McGinnis is just a knockoff version of Batman. And as such, the Joker is far more skilled than he could ever be, and the Joker is so secure in his superiority that he doesn't even consider him a threat. But of course, he quickly discovers that McGinnis does know how to fight. And more importantly, he knows how to talk. In this universe, Batman didn't talk to the Joker that much, and never really bothered to psychoanalyze him, but McGinnis decides to really lay into him, pointing out that the Joker just isn't funny, and that all his jokes fall flat because they're pathetic, and so is the Joker. In fact, he might actually laugh because of the fact he's that pathetic, and that he's just some loser who fell into a vat of acid and then decided to become a villain. How dull. And this really gets to the Joker. I mean, he is an egomaniac, so he is feeling truly humiliated. And I honestly think this is the time when Batman got the most under the Joker's skin, and the time when the Joker felt the most embarrassed. And one of the things that really hammers this home is that even after the Joker manages to knock McGinnis down and is in the middle of killing him, and this is of course his moment of triumph, well, Terry then takes it all away with barely any effort at all. 5 decades worth of work, and Terry uses Joker's own weapon against him. His joy buzzer destroys the microchip that controls the Joker's brain, freeing Robin from his control and ending the Clown Prince of Crime once and for all. So not only did he get properly humiliated before he was killed, he was then erased and no one will ever think of him ever again, because people don't even really care about him anymore. It's been 5 decades. And you've got to admit, that really is adding insult to injury, because he humiliated him like never before and then completely ended him. It really is a great scene, and a pretty good film. I recommend watching it if you haven't already. Lego Batman. Now, this is actually one of the times when Batman laid into the Joker the most, and when the Joker was the most hurt, which is ironic since it's a Lego kids film. You don't really expect it, you know?
You have never once said the words, "I hate you, Joker."
Not once.
But basically, it's just a normal day in Gotham. The Joker is being very much himself and just causing outlandish chaos. Now, the Joker also thinks of himself very much as Batman's greatest nemesis, but he's obviously never actually had a discussion with Batman about this, because when he says it to him, Batman pauses and tells him that he doesn't matter. He's got a lot of villains and that none of them are special to him. As we all know, he has that infamous line, "I like to fight around." And this actually hurts the Joker like never before. And he decides to prove once and for all that he is Batman's greatest nemesis, by assembling an army made from other franchises and destroying Gotham. After all, only Batman's greatest nemesis could achieve such destruction and completely defeat him. And that does actually kind of make some sense, except for the fact that the Joker is destroying his own home and seems like he'll actually die in the process. But we do have to remember that he is insane at the end of the day. But when Batman apologizes for his actions, Joker forgives him, And with his anger lessening, he can finally realise that his home will be destroyed and he will die. And so they save it together. Now, personally, I did think the whole splitting the city apart was a bit silly, but you can't deny that Batman really hurt the Joker here. And yeah, it might have been a private moment, but it still was so embarrassing for him. I mean, those words from Batman as him like, "You're not my greatest nemesis? You've been thinking that for all these years? Seriously?" I mean, that's gotta hurt, because that's what was going through his head. I mean, let's be honest, we all know what it's like to have our feelings just completely dismissed like this, and it really hurts. And of course, it's all with overtones of a relationship between the two of them, which is of course how most of us know what it's like to have our feelings dismissed. We all know how hard it is to tell someone how we feel, and how crushing it can be to have those feelings rejected.
I think after 78 years, I deserve respect.
That is right. Respect.
And that is essentially what is happening here. Again, even though it's private, it probably hurts the most. I mean, his most public one was probably when he had his pants pulled down in front of everyone. But I actually don't think that would hurt the most. I genuinely think it's between the Lego Batman and Batman Beyond. But what do you think? Which one of these would you say is the most humiliating for the Joker? And of course, are there any other moments that the Batman has humiliated Joker that you think should have been on this list? Feel free to let us know in the comments. And I'd just like to quickly remind everyone that we have merchandise available on our store, and to say thanks to all of you who donate to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.